strategy number one that people try to, you could say, apply in order to boost their confidence, in order to be confident, and this is something that's really, really pumped in the mainstream narrative, is meet the superficial standards. Okay, superficial standards. That's strategy number one, where we're conditioned that, hey, if I'm able to meet all the standards imposed on me from society, from social conditioning, for example, if I'm able to look a certain way, right, the right way that's promoted in the mainstream, if I'm able to, have the amount of money that's, promoted in the mainstream, if I'm able to dress a certain way, present myself a certain way, that holds the key to my confidence. Okay, that is the first way, by trying to meet superficial standards. And it's important to audit your life here in terms of where you may be doing this, right? Like, what are some things that you just notice unlock a certain level of confidence, right? It might even be, having the right haircut, for example, right? Some days you might wake up, you're like, yeah, kind of an off day. Some other days, today's a good day for a good haircut day. And you just notice your level of confidence just shift depending on that, right? Or someday you might wake up and you feel a little bit bloated. Some other day you wake up, you're like, oh, feeling fresh, feeling lean. Yes, right? And your confidence changes. Someday, you might wake up and, a little bit more money in the bank account, right? You might get a promotion, a bonus, you might make some sales, whatever it is that you do. Your money goes up, right? Your Bitcoin goes up, your confidence raises. Your Bitcoin's down, your confidence goes down. Okay, and this here is conditioned into us, right? It's imposed on us from the moment that we're born, right? From all angles, right? Society's saying you have to look a certain way, act a certain way, dress a certain way, have this certain lifestyle, so on and so forth. And we embark on this journey of trying to, meet all these superficial standards, thinking that, hey, if I meet the standards of society, the better I do, the more confident I'm able to be. Okay, that is strategy number one, trying to meet these superficial standards. And this here, although you could, for example, use it as a quick fix to your advantage, right? Like, an easy way to boost anyone's confidence is to buy some new clothes. I'm sure you've experienced this, right? You get something new, you're really excited, you put it on and you feel like $1,000,000, right? It does wear off, the effect wears off, this isn't permanent, but you get that temporary high, right? Or go get a haircut and, I have the fresh haircut, you'll feel your confidence raise. Okay, this is a quick fix that really the majority of people try to, use. Doesn't get to the cause, but that's the first strategy. Okay, strategy number two is social alliances. Okay, superficial standards. Number two, social alliances. And this is where you feel confident due to the social alliances in your vicinity, in the environment, right? You might notice that if you go out to, say, a certain venue alone, you feel very different than if you go there with one of your friends, right? It also even depends on the friend. Everyone has, that friend in their group of friends that is a bit more fun, right? It's kind of the life of the party person, the more outgoing person, and whenever that person is around, everyone has a blast, right? That's a classic example of social alliances where you're out, you're like, oh, that person's there. This gives me permission to unlock a certain amount of confidence. Right? If you go to a venue and the majority of the people there, it also unlocks a certain amount of confidence. This is also why if you go to a venue and say you talk to a lot of people, and even though you might not be long-term friends, you just met them, by the mere fact of saying hi to every single person there, suddenly it will unlock a certain amount of confidence because, I have all these alliances now, right? It's not me by myself, I actually know people in this environment. Okay, so social alliances, having high status friends, for example, being around close friends, family, even just strangers giving you positive attention, just that positive feedback, mini alliances, that is also something that will boost your level of confidence. It's not permanent, it's a quick fix, but it does work. And you can use this to your advantage. As I said, if you go out to a new venue, say hi to a bunch of people there. Okay, just those alliances, you'll start noticing that confidence unlocking. That is strategy number two. Strategy number three, competencies. Okay, superficial standards, social alliances, and competencies. And this is where you have, you could say, a certain skill, right? Or something, you could say access to something that people want, right? You have this thing that is valuable that people are chasing that they want, right? For example, having access to something exclusive, right? Oh, I know this place and I can get you into this place, right? I'm very connected in this area, like competencies. This actually makes you feel and unlocks a certain amount of confidence because in your mind, you're like, well, at least maybe I'm not all that, but at least I have this thing going for me that puts me above the rest. It's a quick fix, doesn't get to the cause, but it does work temporarily. Okay, having a certain, you could say, amount of knowledge, a certain amount of expertise in something, right? Something that other people don't have. Learning self-help is something that actually, you could say, boosts the confidence of a lot of people, right? Ooh, I know this self-help thing. I know all this social dynamic thing that other people don't know about. Boosts it up. You might have business knowledge, any kind of competency that other people don't have. People will tend to, use that to boost their confidence. Also a quick fix, does work, not permanent, but you can do it if you like. And then the fourth way, this is through role plays, right? When you could say the circumstances of life call for it, where, you might find yourself sometimes just in a role play put into a teacher position, right? Where you're the person of authority helping others. And prior to that, you might not have been that confident, but now that you're put in that role, it unlocks, I'm in this role, better play the part, and it unlocks a certain amount of confidence. Okay, in the role plays on a more subtle level, this is also where I would put things like substances, right? Like alcohol or drugs, another quick fix, a terrible fix, that people use to access a certain amount of confidence because, hey, it's not me now, it's the alcohol and it's the drunk persona, right? It's the role play. It's not actually me. I'm playing a role of, the drunk role or on drugs, so on and so forth. Okay, that is strategy number 4. So once more, superficial standards, social alliances, competencies, and role plays. This is how the majority of people try to become confident or boost their level of confidence. However, there's a problem in all of these. As I said, it's only temporary. And number 2, the confidence that it will give you is known as situational confidence, where it depends on a certain situation. It depends on a certain requirement. It's not just there all the time, right? And then this leads you to living this weird life where at times you feel great, at times you don't. You're just kind of swung back and forth. You might talk to someone in a certain situation and you're just on point, you're flowing, you have a blast, and suddenly you see that person in another situation where, I don't have access to the same amount of confidence here, and you freeze, right? And it's like, wait a minute, I thought you were that person. Which one are you? And it just comes off as very fake. It looks very weird from an outsider's perspective. It's very frustrating from your perspective inside. I remember for myself, even when I started working on my social skills, this is many years ago, back in 2006, I would notice that I would go out and work on my social skills, and I actually developed a certain amount of situational confidence within a certain type of environment, where if I went to, let's just say, a bar, right, or any kind of like social gathering at night, right, when the sun was down, I would tap into a good amount of confidence. Yet, if I went out and it wasn't this type of social gathering, and say it was during the day, and it wasn't my usual environment, I would freeze a lot more, and it would drive me insane. I'm like, why, right? Another one a lot of people deal with is with substances, right? Where they need a certain amount of drinks to access that confidence. I know people where even before a date, they need a drink or two in order to loosen up, right? Situational confidence, where you're basically giving your power away to a certain situation, a person, to the strategies that we're giving here, right? Where, I'll only feel confident when we're talking about something I have a lot of knowledge in. Right? Not the other topics. I don't feel confident there, but if it's something in my expertise, I'll feel very confident, right? Playing on competencies. Or I'll only go out if my friends are going out. I can never go out alone, right? Or if you're out with your friends and some of your friends like, I'm going to go to the bathroom. You're there by yourself. People sense their level of confidence dropping. And again, there's nothing more frustrating than that, because you just know if I could just have the right situation, people would see this awesome version of me, right? Everyone has this, you're watching this, you've had those moments where you truly shined, right? Where all the stars aligned, right? The situation aligned, and you're like, wow, if I could just tap into this all the time, how my life would change. Okay. Now, the reason it isn't changing is because, as I mentioned, it's situational confidence. This is why these are quick fixes. It's not permanent. Okay. you're always going to be a slave to those situations. You're being basically pimped out by those situations, by those requirements. And this here is when you must shift away from it and move towards what we call core confidence. Situational confidence, core confidence, and core confidence is the permanent solution. And this is where you tap into confidence that isn't based on anything. There are no requirements, no situations, no conditions. It's just like, hey, you know what? I'm confident. Why? Just cause. Oh, not because of the standards? Just cause. Not because of the alliances? Just cause. Not the competencies, not the role plays? Just cause. For no reason at all, I'm confident. Now, here's what changes, and this is the really cool thing when you shift to core confidence. What changes is you really flipped the script, if you will, in terms of cause and effect, right? Like we think, okay, if I were to meet X amount of superficial standards, then I'll be confident, right? I need to live up to those standards. But here's what's cooler. What about having your own standards and then being confident, it's like, hey, this is who I am, right? Core confidence. These are my standards that I choose. These are my values. And then people try to live up to yours. Flip the script, right? Oh, suddenly, there you go. You just choose. You don't have to live up, you just choose. You know what? This is what I'm going to choose to value. Done. Now, this does require unplugging from groupthink, right? It can be very scary. People don't like going against the grain, right? If everyone's like, no, these are the standards, right? That's society, right? Superficial societal standards. Everyone's deciding on this one thing. You're like, no. This is what I choose to value. These are the standards I live up to. I'm confident. Why? Just cause. Boom, I choose that. You're going against the grain. But if you're able to unplug from groupthink, really, this is this definition of drawing state from within, right? Being really certain in who you are. People are always pinging socially and they'll see like, whoa, this person's a lot more certain. Ooh, maybe what? And they're going to start reacting to you and funny enough, trying to live up to the standards that you impose. Okay, a classic saying I've said for years is your reality, your rules. The same with social alliances, right? Oh, I need the alliances to be confident. Hey, be confident and people want to hang out with you. The alliances will come. You flip the script, right? Competencies, same thing, right? If you're confident and you're speaking authentically, you have something that people want. People want a glimpse of that vibe. That's competencies. Like, oh, I want some of that confidence to rub off on me. And the same with role plays, right? People chase, you could say, positions of authority because they want to feel good. If you make yourself feel good and you're confident, people will actually want you to be an authority. You'll put yourself by default in a position of authority and people start reacting and chasing you. It's flipping the script. It all starts with core confidence. And guess what? The beauty with core confidence is it's permanent. You don't have to turn it on. You don't have to activate it, right? Even on a more subtle level, you could say situational confidence is something that people rely on when they build momentum, right? It's the same thing as the social alliances, right? Let me get some proof that nothing bad happens. It's situational. It's not core. The goal, and this is what personally I've always been after, and I realize for the most part, is you don't have to build up to it. It's just who you are, right? You don't get rusty if you stop going out. You don't get rusty if you don't build momentum. You're just there because it's your reality, your rules. You're not run by all these external things. The way to really achieve this, by the way, is through letting go. This is why I keep pumping letting go, letting go, letting go. And by the way, if you'd like help with this and you'd like to learn how to let go, you know what to do. Go to JulienMentoring.com. You can book a free coaching call as well as receive a free letting go meditation. So go to that link or just click the link below this video right here. And ultimately it comes down to creating a strong personal sense of reality and a strong personal sense, you could say a strong sense of self. This is really what runs people for the most part, is they're always chasing other people's approval, right? It's like I want this person's approval, this person, this standard versus just choosing my standard. You choose and you live from there, but you gotta unplug.
Like, this program is such a game changer. The way everything's structured and the material, it's been already, even for me, it's just been, I'm noticing a crazy change in the way that my whole life's like playing out.
What you put together is just incredible. There's nothing like that.
I've just jumped like a million levels. It's just been a complete 180 for my experience of existing. That's awesome.
It's just been so huge in terms of so many of the things I'm finally understanding and realizing and epiphanies I'm having.
What you do is a huge inspiration to me, and I think it's one of the most beautiful things you can give to another human in this entire world.
You saved my life, man. I'm telling you, this is real, man.
Sometimes all it takes is just one person who believes in you. Find people who are where you are in life and model them, work with them. I would not be here if I didn't have people who held me accountable.
Wow.
I just felt a click and things are changing.
This program was just top notch.
Seriously, like this is a masterpiece. This is perfect.
Everything, the way it's set up, the live calls, like all the support from the coaches is incredible.
It's been nuts.
I just had my tears of joy.
This was the best decisions I ever made.
Thank you for creating something wonderful like this.
This program was phenomenal.
This program was amazing.
This program has definitely changed my life.
I know for a fact I'm in the right place.
This is exactly what I was expecting from the program.
It's been spectacular.
I feel really lucky to have found you.
Thank you so much, Julien. It's worth every dollar.